Hello students, welcome to online class. Today's topic, clauses. A clause is a group of words that includes a subject and a verb. A clause functions as an adjective, an adverb, or a noun. A group of words that functions as one part of speech and that includes a subject and a verb. Let us see how it functions. A clause functioning as an adjective. My friend who has autism is brilliant at quizzes. Who is a subject. Has is a verb. This is the quality of that person which is described in the sentence. My autistic friend is brilliant at quizzes. A clause functioning as a noun. I cannot remember what happened last night. What is a subject? Happened is a verb. Here, the proof of noun is I cannot remember a thing, a particular thing which you cannot remember. A clause functioning as an adverb. He put on weight when he stopped running. He is a subject. Stopped is a verb. Proof of an adverb. He put on weight quickly. A clause contracts with a phrase which does not contain a subject and a verb. The distinction between a clause and a phrase is clearer when you see them side by side. Now let us see real life examples of clauses. There are two types of clauses. An independent clause, you can also call it as main or principal clause. One that can stand alone as a sentence. It does not start with the subordinate words such as when, which, or if in the independent clause. For independent clause, there are main properties also. It contains a subject. It contains an action. It expresses a complete thought. For example, let's start the play. Here, play is the subject and let's start is the action. Hope you understood about independent clause. Now coming to a dependent clause. What do you mean by that? A dependent clause is a subordinate clause. It starts with subordinate words. It cannot stand alone as a sentence and is labeled according to its function in the sentence. That means one that is usually a supporting part of a sentence. This dependent clause are further divided into three kinds. A noun clause, a relative clause, and an adverb clause. How are clauses used in a sentence? Clauses can play a variety of roles in a sentence. A clause can act as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. Now let us see what is noun clause. A noun clause is a dependent clause that acts as a noun. Noun clause begins with the words such as how, that, what, whatever, when, where, whether, which, whichever, who, whoever, whom, whomever, and why. These words generally come before the subject and the verb of the noun clause. Noun clause can act as a subject, direct object, indirect object, predicate, nominatives, or object of a preposition. You can see the example on the screen. She cannot remember what she said last night. What she said last night is a noun clause. It could be replaced with a noun. Example, her rent. Now I know why tigers eat their young. Why? Why is also a noun clause. Is it clear? Coming to adjective clause. This is also a dependent clause introduced by a relative pronoun. That, which, whichever, who, whoever, whom, whomever, whose, and of which. Adjective clauses are also called as relative clauses. Relative clauses add extra information to a sentence by defining a noun. The introductory words used for various categories of noun are: for people, you can use who, whose, or what. For things, you can use which or that. For places, you can use where. For times, you can use when. For precision, you can use whose. Here are few examples on your screen. My friend who lives in London looks like Homer Simpson. The clause acts like an adjective. That means we're describing the quality of a noun. It could be replaced with an adjective. Example, my London-based friend. Second one, you should never make fun of something that, as I said we can use that one. That means what, which or that refers to the thing. Who refers to the person. In the first example we have seen that a person can't change about themselves. YouTuber Phil's Lister. This clause could be replaced with an adjective. Example, unchangeable. Now coming to adverbial clause. What do you mean by adverb clause? An adverb clause is also called as an adverbial clause. Is a word or expression in a sentence that functions as an adverb. It tells you something about how the action in the verb was done. It adds extra information about the time, place, manner, etc. to a sentence and modifies the verb. As a dependent clause, it cannot stand on its own and must connect to the main clause or an independent clause with a conjunction to form a complete sentence. The adverbial clause may come before or after the main clause. When it comes before the main clause, a comma is used. To separate the two clauses. When it comes after the main clause, no comma is necessary. For example, you can see on the screen. He lost his double chain after he gave up the chocolates. After he gave up the chocolates. The clause acts like an adverb. It could be replaced with the adverb recently. Next example. I am not afraid of the pen, the scaffold, or the sword. I will tell the truth whenever I pleased. Labor right campaigner. Mary Harris Jones egg. Mother's John. This clause could be replaced with an adverb. Example, there. These are the three clauses we have read in this section. Noun clause, relative or adjective clause, adverb or adverbial clause. Now let us see the types of adverb clause. The first one is adverbial or adverb clause of time. We use adverb clause of time to modify a verb in the main clause and to tell the time when an action takes place. For example, when you win, say nothing. When you lose, say less. Say nothing when you win. Say less when you lose. Adverbial clause of place. Where there are too many soldiers, there is no peace. Where there are too many lawyers, there is no justice. Chinese philosopher Lin Yutang. This describes the adverbs of clause of place to indicate the place. Adverbial clause of condition. We use adverbial clause of condition to modify a verb in the main clause and to tell the condition where under which an action takes place or something does something. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you are right. Businesswoman Mary Kay Ash. You can if you think you can. You are right if you think you can't. These are the examples of a condition. This is what the condition. If you think you can, this is a condition. If you think you can't, you are right. Depends on the situations and the conditions. So we have seen how the clauses are used in the sentences and in the different forms. By using clauses correctly, you can quickly and easily improve the quality of your writing and your ability to communicate with the reader. With the help of a clause, you can direct the attention of the reader so that your sentence is understood. You will also avoid incorrect dependent clauses as a sentence fragments. This you can practice at home. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.